And so we discussed it first.
Yep.
First, you and I got on the same page. It wasn't like some big correction without us where I would have felt like, wait, I told her she could go.
Right.
What are you?
Or it wasn't just me walking out there being like, we're going to shut this down before I talk to you.
And
you know?
that could have been really a hurtful thing for for me. Because here I'm letting her go. But you brought it to me. You had to check in your spirit, which was great. And then you and I discussed it. And I just said, you know what? You're absolutely right. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're excited to chat with you today. My hubby and I are sitting here in the studio. It's beautiful outside. It's 80 degrees out. I don't know where you are today, but I hope it's as pretty as it is at your place as it is at our place. It's gorgeous.
It's been a fun Memorial Day weekend.
I know.
We had some friends in from the great state of Wisconsin, and we got to show them the beautiful mountains of Idaho and the rivers and the streams and just our cute little area that we live in here, this little slice of paradise that we call home now, which was really fun. They had a great time. We were joking with them because we always ask them how long people are going to stay, because the longer you stay, the harder it is to leave when you come out here, which is pretty cool. So, but yeah, here it is. It's actually Memorial Day. And we had a great church service yesterday with our pastor just honoring all those that have gone before us. And I loved what he said about honor. You know, he talked about honoring isn't just remembering. He said it's actually building upon what those that have gone before us have sacrificed for and what they have created. And that's the truest form of honor. And it really hit me because I thought about parenting with that. And I'm like, yeah, you know, we want to be remembered, but really we're working really hard to be able to build a foundation, both internally, but also even the external of what we create and wealth we build and relationships we build and churches we're building and everything else that we're doing in order to have them, you know, have what we create as our ceiling in our life become their floor that they get to stand on and build from. So it's pretty cool, huh?
It is cool. You know, and to think how we can honor all those that have fought so hard for us to have the freedoms that we have today. We live in such an amazing country. Yeah. Like such an amazing country.
Why are you talking so quiet?
Am I? Does it sound quiet? I don't know.
Pick it up. Maybe it's usually I have to tell you to turn the volume down.
Really? Am I quiet today? I don't know.
You were getting all nice and soft, and it was. I didn't want to interrupt you, but at the same time, I want to be able to hear you.
Oh, okay. And I think I'm probably a little further away. It's so neat to be able to, you know, just reflect and honor those that have helped make this country where it is still today. You know, and it might not be where some of us feel like it should be, but my gosh, what a beautiful country we live in. So thankful and grateful for all those that have gone before and done the things that most of us will never have to do to have the freedoms that we have today.
For sure. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is the difference between a piano, a tuna, and a pot of glue?
I'm not sure.
Well, you can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna.
Okay. Where'd you get that one?
Doesn't make sense.
I'm not even sure. I'm not like, yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed to ask me, what about the pot of glue?
Oh,
you kind of forgot about that.
I did. I already zoned out.
You're ruining my joke. All right.
What about the glue, hon?
And I'm supposed to say, I knew you'd get stuck on that. I'm going to do this with Chrissy later because I know that she'll be like, wait, what's the glue all about?
You know, she'll actually help
She's so logical about stuff.
Are you saying I'm not logical?
Well, I just think that you kind of tune out sometimes when I'm telling jokes, so you're not even paying attention.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, only sometimes. All right, what are we talking about today, babe?
Well, I thought we'd chat about electronics and screen time and social media and protecting our kids and what that looks like in today's world, really what it looks like for us in a world that we're trying to navigate with all this.
Yeah.
We have a wide age gap now going on. Our youngest is 5, and then our oldest are 15, and being willing to give them some freedoms and trusting them because they've not done anything to prove anything but trust. And then to also protect our 5-year-old from, going down a path that she shouldn't go down. And, just a little bit about how we do stuff. So our kids don't get a lot of screen time. We are really careful on the amount of screen time they get, what kind of movies they watch, or which apps they get to use, or, how much time they get to watch on their screens at all. So we're super careful about that kind of stuff. And we have been for a very long time. And we learned really hard a long time ago. I think the kids were young. They were like 5 and under. I was letting the kids watch some movies. I mean, totally kid-related movies. I'd watched them myself. I felt really confident with them watching it. And unfortunately, what happened is their little brains still were being overstimulated by it.
Yeah.
To the point where one of our children would wake up with nightmares in the middle of the night. And I couldn't figure out what it was that she was seeing or doing or who she was hanging out with, because I was the major influence in her life at the time, myself and our nanny and all that kind of stuff, and you. So it wasn't like we were letting our kids sit on the TV all day, and they didn't have iPads for kids back then.
Yeah.
But there was a quote unquote good movie, and it was not good and healthy. Mm-hmm. In fact, once I started taking evaluation of what they were watching a little closer, I realized that some of the things that we might just kind of forget about, and it just goes over our heads just because we've been accustomed to it for so very, very long, was really affecting our kids.
Well, let's just call it what it is. Okay, let's just get rid of PC for a minute, and let's just say what we need to say. And the reality is, I don't trust anybody who's doing anything in media anymore.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game. Even when we were kids, it wasn't healthy.
Yes.
But it's transitioned from, it's just not that healthy into, it's actually organized evil.
Truth.
And you got to wake up to this, because some people still fight this quite a bit. I think some people have a hard time realizing that there are people genuinely, through cartoons and stuff that's designed quote unquote for youth, they're actually intentionally trying to harm our children.
Truth.
With whether it's the images they put in their head, whether it's the ways that they're trying to dumb them down, whether it's misinformation, whether it's casting some form of dark stuff into their minds. There's just, it's very calculated. It's very intentional. And we all, as parents, got to stop arguing about whether or not that's real and just realize that it is. Because a lot of things that we grew up being programmed through media, that this is like the ultimate dream for a kid to go to this amusement park or this place over here, or want to see these cartoon characters over here. And then you subscribe to watching their movies and their cartoons, and you think they're innocent. And these are the kind of things that are some of the stuff that most people would probably have their kids watching thinking it's innocent, are the ones that were giving our kids nightmares, right? And like you were just saying, we learned a lot about this because we would use some deductive reasoning where we were like, okay, well, let's think through what's creating these nightmares. And we would only play a certain thing that we were kind of typical to play. And we would find out pretty quickly that when it's that thing, there's something going on in there. Like there really is. And the way that it affects a little kid's minds, then it's up to us to do what? We would take those DVDs or whatever, and we just throw them out.
Yeah, we felt real strong that anytime one of our kids, and because kids' spirits are so innocent, they haven't been exposed to the things that you and I have. And so they are so innocent. So the minute one of our kids had a problem with a movie, or a nightmare would come, or, thoughts that came that we knew were not from the Lord, we were questioning. We were questioning, like, what is it that they're watching? What are they seeing? Even if we didn't see it, even if you and I didn't catch it, you know what I mean? Even if we didn't feel it, if they were watching something that didn't, like, if it didn't go well with their spirit, we were like, well, what's the point in watching this? Let's get rid of this thing. Right. And we not only we didn't pass it on to somebody else. We didn't take it to like a place to donate. We were like, let's like literally get rid of it. Because why would we want to give this to another child? Mm-hmm. Same thing for books. Sometimes the kids would get books, or a gift or we'd purchase a book, and then there'd be something in the storyline that was off track. It was off track. And literally our kids would be like, I don't like this book. I don't like the way they're saying this, Mom. What do they mean by this? And I'm not saying like throw it away and don't explain it to your kids. We would sit down and read over the book and be like, this is a really good question. In fact, this is what it is saying. I'm glad you caught this.
Right.
Thank you for bringing this to us. This is not how we run our house or how God wants us to run our house or how we speak to each other or whatever the case may be. Let's take this book and get rid of it, not donate it and have another kid have it. Literally just throw it away.
Yeah.
And that way then our kids understood, like we trust them to come to us when something is not well in their spirit, tell us.
That's right.
So that we can then take the time to have a discussion, which is the number one thing. Always discussing it is so important. Not just, throwing away and never explaining it. Many times you said, even when you were growing up, you didn't know you could ask questions about stuff.
Correct.
Well, we encourage those questions from our kids and we want them to bring it. And when they do, we then go over and then we say, you know what, you were right. I'm so glad you let the Spirit tell you this book is not right for us, or this movie's not right for us, or this song is not right for us. Let's get rid of it.
And we've also been intentional along the way, whether it's watching a Bible study of somebody that we trust. We're big fans of like Andrew Womack, and he has some really good educational stuff. So we'll watch these videos, even when they're younger, that would talk about topics about how to make sure you're guarding your eye gates and your ear gates, how this is biblical. Here's the scripture around this. This is why you do this. Explain things like when you watch stuff, it seeps into your subconscious and then it affects you. Explaining multiple examples of what this could mean and why, but always coming at it from, we didn't just do what I think probably our parents' generation did, which was just don't do this because I said so. We always taken that extra time, and it takes the extra effort. You want to raise champion kids, you got to go the extra mile.
That's right.
And we would take the extra effort to be like, okay, we're proactively going to talk about some of this stuff. On top of that, when things do happen and we tell you can't do it, we make sure you understand why. Not just that you can't, but you understand why, right?
Why?
And I think that's why now, as they get older, they're taking a lot of accountability for themselves because they understand why. That's why our older kids right now are monitoring and guarding, Hunter, because they're more sets of eyes. Even not just like screen time or anything, but even friends, etc. We got our neighbor right now, right?
Sweet little girl.
She's great, and she's I don't know, a couple of years older than.
Yeah, she's in second grade, and Hunter's in kindergarten.
Yeah,
so.
and she's a young soul.
Yeah,
she has like two older brothers.
Yes.
Who are like high school age, and so there's a little bit of a gap there. And she's got a very like outgoing, fun personality.
Yeah.
Likes to play. And every day, right around this time, what do we hear? We hear we hear this loud.
Now we have sound effects in our studio now, I guess.
Yeah. And then it was just me and Drew's home before you guys got home from church yesterday. We were eating lunch and we were downstairs watching a game or something, and we heard it upstairs, that loud knock, and I'm like, who's knocking? And just like, she'll try twice and then she'll go away. If nobody answers, I'm like, oh, this process now. And we're watching Hunter go out in the trampoline out in the yard, and they grab like 20 dolls each. They're having this whole doll party out there. But I kind of brought it to you. I'm like, man, they get to go out there for like a couple hours at a time. And what are they talking about? I don't really know this neighbor kid that well. She seems sweet, she seems innocent, but at the same time, I'm protecting my 5-year-old who is highly influenceable, if that's a word, right? Highly easily influenced right now at her precious young age. And so then what did we do to like, we better kind of monitor this?
Well, yes. First, what was good, and again, Mom and Dad, if you're listening to this stuff, Greg had a check in the spirit, like, hey, I'd really like to discuss this. It looks like Hunter's outside a lot with our neighbor girl. You know what I mean? Looks innocent. No huge red flags, but we don't let anybody play that long without us being around. Like, Hun, do you think maybe we should kind of reel this in a little bit?
And Hunter loves hanging with our family, but she's really wanting to go there. So it almost made me like, is there something going on that's a little bit too much of a pull? I didn't know. So again,
so we discussed it first. First, you and I got on the same page. It wasn't like some big correction without us, where I would have felt like, wait, I told her she could go.
Right.
What do you?
Or it wasn't just me walking out there being like, we're going to shut this down before I talk to you.
And that could have been really a hurtful thing for for me, because here I'm letting her go. But you brought it to me. You had a check in your spirit, which was great. And then you and I discussed it. And I just said, you know what? You're absolutely right. I think you're right. They have been spending a lot of time together. I don't know everything they talk about. It seems innocent. I've talked to Hunter quite a bit, but she's very young and her mind might not understand how to explain to me everything they're discussing. I'm all on board, first of all, of kind of reeling it in a little bit. Not every day can we play with all of our friends. We probably should limit the amount of time each day because all of us should be, doing other things, number one. You know what I mean? Like hanging out with each other or quality time with your siblings or even just being in the family mode, and not feeling like we always have to entertain somebody. And then what we did is I said, you know what, from now on, I'm going to send some bigger kids out there to play when they're playing out there. Whether they're practicing baseball, whether they're practicing golf, whether they're, going on the trampoline and just, reading next to them, listening to them, whatever the case may be, because I really care enough to protect her. And if something's going on, I need to know. I need to be available so that I can help really make sure that, Hunter's in the right direction. And then therefore we know how to move forward with the whole thing.
That's right. Yeah. So that's just one example, but we'll get into the next example on the next episode because we had a couple other situations happen recently too that are similar to this,
Yes.
revolving around protecting our children, even when they don't know how to protect themselves.
Absolutely.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.